been in the end, a good season for the team. You know, you need to think where we were coming the last 2 seasons, and to be back fighting for wins, getting between the championship. I think it's overall a good season. I know we did plenty of mistakes and we didn't develop as well as Mercedes and Red Bull, which there are things that we take on board for next season. And now that we are back fighting at the top, we know the 2 or 3 things that we need to improve.
Carlos, you came out with a fundamentally good car and it sort of got lost in the middle of the season there, but today's performance was sort of encouraging, if it can be such a thing at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think clearly Red Bull is just simply a more solid package where it works pretty much at every circuit, while we were a bit more circuit dependent in this second half of the season especially. No, I think the first half we were quick everywhere. It's this second half where simply we didn't develop enough. The others have clearly outdeveloped us, especially Merck and also a bit Red Bull. So it's how it goes. It's Formula One. It's the first year of the team back fighting for wins. So we also got to see at which level they are, Ferrari and Red Bull, and what do we need to do next year if we want to beat them.
You've obviously had a good year, and we've seen some fantastic races and qualifying sessions from you, but we can always be better, right, as individuals. Do you know what you need to do as an individual, and does the team know what they need to do to really fight again at the front next year? Yeah, I'm not entirely happy with my season. I'm not going to lie. The first half was too tough for me, too tough compared to what I expected. You know, I've never been lacking pace in a car. I've always been at the pace pretty much straight away with every car I've been driving, and this was the first time in my career that I was 2 or 3 tenths of the pace, and I had to really put my head down and try and fight where these 2 or 3 tenths were. Charles was driving extremely well in the first half, and this exposed a bit more my limitations, and I found them in the end. I got myself in the rhythm. I got myself to a good level with this car, and this is now the baseline and the pace that I can do next year from the beginning.
There's a lot of speculation about what might happen at the top with regards to Mattia Binotto and Fred Vasseur's being linked with the job. What do you as a driver want at the top? Do you prefer stability? Is this what Ferrari needs to improve to be able to challenge for titles? Carlos?
I'm not going to get into what I prefer, I don't prefer. I just know that from experience, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, and you need to take into account where we're coming, no? And if you see the progress that we've done as a team in these last 2 seasons, it's huge, and the team is working well. We are very autocritic in closed doors, probably towards the public. We are protecting each individual of the team, and we are having this famous no blame culture, you know, where we want to obviously protect everyone, and we are, I think, doing a great job at that. But it is true that we've done plenty of mistakes this year and that we want to be a better team. But as I said, it doesn't come from one year to another, and we need to keep improving. I think this second half of the season we've been a bit better at everything. We just didn't develop enough.
Okay, I mean, we've quite often had the conversation that it's about operationally. You've got a fast car, you've got 2 very quick drivers. There's no doubt about that. It's just about eliminating mistakes. And can you answer what you're going to do? I mean, what are you doing behind closed doors to enable that to happen, so potentially you don't have that happen again to you next year?
I think it's very simple. I think we need to be better at executing races, whether that's the start, like for example me. This year we've had a problem with the inherent problem in the car that doesn't allow us to start well. I had a problem in the clutch all weekend, and it cost me a position to Lewis, which meant then I had 5 seconds, 6 seconds of race time that I lost in that crazy fight I had with him. The second point is obviously strategy and getting the right calls and the right tires into the car on Sunday. This is something that we are working on for next year, and then there's the development. If we want to beat Mercedes and Red Bull, we need to develop more than them.
So what's your highlight been of this year? I mean, I'm sure it's going to be the win, right? But was that the one?
It is the win. Of course, your first win in F1, especially in Silverstone for Ferrari. I mean, it's a very special place. But honestly, I've been driving a lot better in Brazil or Austin than what I did in Silverstone, for example. No, and my best weekend of the season probably was Brazil, where I think I could have started P2 without the penalty in the main race. We could have fought for the win. Austin, I got the pole, and we were very fast in the race if I would have done the race. So I think this second half I've been fast, and I'll keep the races of this second half, but I will always remember the first win.
Carlos, it's a 22 race season, quite exhausting. If you're 25, if you include the sprints, I think. So how has it been? Are you going to go completely cold turkey and get away from cars and racing, or are you going to do rallying, and what are you going to do?
It's been tough. It's been a tough season. 22 races is a lot, and next year 23 or 24, it's on the on the limit, no, and I don't know. I felt like it could have been a very easy year to give up on after the first half and being so far behind. It would have been easy to give up on this car, to give up on my pace and focus on next year. But I'm happy that I kept pushing and that I kept recovering pace and being more in the fight. Personally, I always like going back home, having a couple of weeks at home, no traveling, no hotels, no airports. And then after a week or two, my body always wants to go on holiday somewhere or start training again, you know. But I think we all need a bit of time off and recover.
Enjoy it, Carlos. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you again next year for the summer 2023. There we go, Carlos.